Hey up guys, so let's talk about the Oscars. Now that we're officially into the award season race, I figured it's good to start making my Oscar predictions videos. But before the nominations are actually announced on January 22nd, I figured let's do a predictions video as to who I think is going to be nominated for the Oscars in 2019. I'm just going to be doing 8 categories today because I can't be bothered going through them all. I'm just going to go through the big 8, my big 8. It's going to be Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Original Screenplay, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Director, and Best Picture. So yeah, I'm just going to go through each of those categories, list who I think is going to be in contention, to be nominated, and then I'm going to pick who I think is going to be selected to be nominated for that particular category for next year. And of course, when the nominations are announced on January 22nd, I will be doing my full-on in-depth analysis and prediction videos for each category. So I'll be going through each category and selecting who I think will win, who should win, who's missing from the category, and just give you some analysis. So if you don't want to miss all my future Oscar predictions content, be sure to click the subscribe button so you can stay updated as to when I release those videos, okay? Lots of Oscars coverage. You like the Oscars, this is the channel to subscribe to, okay? Right, so shall we get the ball rolling? Let's start my predictions for who I think is going to get nominated with Best Actor. So, who do we have in the Best Actor category this year? Who is in contention? So, we've got Bradley Cooper in A Star is Born, Viggo Mortensen in Green Book, Lin-Manuel Miranda for Mary Poppins Returns. We've got Ryan Gosling for First Man, John David Washington for Black Klansman. We've got Lucas Hedges for Boy Erased, Christian Bale for Vice, Willem Dafoe for At Eternity's Gate, Steve Carell for Beautiful Boy, Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, Hugh Jackman for The Frontrunner, Stefan James for If Beale Street Could Talk, Chadwick Boseman for Black Panther, Ethan Hawke for First Reformed, and Robert Redford for The Old Man and the Gun. Out of all those potential names that can make it into the category, there are 2 people who I think are a lock to make into the Best Actor category this year, and that is Bradley Cooper for A Star is Born and Christian Bale for Vice. Those 2 have been getting so much buzz, so much hype. Bradley Cooper's the golden boy of Hollywood right now, and what with the phenomenal success of A Star is Born, it'd be very likely he will be nominated for Best Actor. And Christian Bale is all the rage right now, so yeah, I'm thinking Christian Bale will be definitely nominated for sure. Those 2 slots are taken, then we've got 3 other slots that are up for grabs. I think the other 3 will go to Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, John David Washington for Black Klansman, and Robert Redford for The Old Man and the Gun. I do think Ryan Gosling and Viggo Mortensen have an outside chance, and if they were to sneak into the category, I think they would take Robert Redford's spot. The only reason I'm giving Robert Redford a spot in the top 5 is because Old Man and the Gun is supposedly his final performance, and I feel like Robert Redford is due for an acting nomination. This will be a nomination that, celebrates an entire career of work, a rich body of work. So yeah, I figure he might get into the final cut, but you never know. Most of the fun of predicting is seeing how many you get right. So yeah, we'll have to just wait and see. So yeah, my 5 predictions for Best Actor will be Bradley Cooper for A Star is Born, Christian Bale for Vice, Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, John David Washington for Black Klansman, and Robert Redford for The Old Man and the Gun. Right, so moving on to Best Actress. Now, who do we have in the Best Actress race? We've got Toni Collette for Hereditary, Olivia Colman for The Favourite, Nicole Kidman for Destroyer, Emily Blunt for Mary Poppins Returns, Saoirse Ronan for Mary Queen of Scots, Lady Gaga for A Star is Born, Kiki Lane for If Beale Street Could Talk, Viola Davis for Widows, Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me, Rosamund Pike for A Private War, Yulitza Aparicio for Roma, Glenn Close for The Wife, and Kathryn Hahn for Private Life. Again, there's 2 locks, I think, for this category for Best Actress, and those would be Olivia Colman for The Favourite and Lady Gaga for A Star is Born. They've both got universal praise. It'd be very weird if they weren't nominated. Of course, they've been nominated for Golden Globes and the SAGs and whatnot, so yeah, those 2 are pretty much absolute certain to get in. And then that means there's 3 other slots available. It could go to any number of the ladies mentioned, but I think the 3 that I would pick would be Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me, Yalitza Aparicio for Roma, and Emily Blunt for Mary Poppins Returns. Glenn Close, Viola Davis could have an outside chance, but I think Emily Blunt might just sneak in there because she's kind of a late entry to the race with Mary Poppins Returns. She's getting a lot of love for her performance there. But if someone's to get knocked off, I would say Emily Blunt would probably be knocked off and might go to Viola Davis or Glenn Close. So my predictions for the 2019 Best Actress Oscar will be Olivia Colman for The Favourite, Lady Gaga for A Star is Born, Yulitza Aparicio for Roma, Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me, and Emily Blunt for Mary Poppins Returns. Let's move on to, let's do Best Original Screenplay. Who are the contenders for Best Original Screenplay? We've got Roma, we've got The Favourite, Green Book, Vice, Incredibles 2, First Reformed, Sorry to Bother You, Hereditary, A Quiet Place, Destroyer, and 8th Grade. If there's any justice in the world, sorry to bother you, A Quiet Place and Hereditary would all get nominations for Best Original Screenplay, but they've kind of flown under the radar, and you know, I don't think they're guaranteed to get a nomination this year. But my top 4 for this category would be Roma, Green Book, Vice, and The Favourite, which leaves 1 slot available for any of the other nominees really, but most likely I think it will go to 8th Grade. It's made a bit more of a splash, but it wouldn't surprise me if First Reformed got in there either. So my predictions for the nominees for the 2019 Best Original Screenplay will be Roma, Green Book, The Favourite, Vice, and 8th Grade. Right, let's move on to Best Adapted Screenplay. We've got A Star Is Born, we've got Black Panther, we've got The Hate You Give, Beautiful Boy, Leave No Trace, Can You Ever Forgive Me, The Old Man and the Gun, The Sisters Brothers, Crazy Rich Asians, Black Klansman, Widows, The Death of Stalin, If Beale Street Could Talk, Boy Erased, First Man, and The Wife. I'd say If Beale Street Could Talk is the definite frontrunner and the lock for this category. That leaves us 4 slots available, and it could go to a number of them, but I feel like the most likeliest ones will be Black Klansman, Can You Ever Forgive Me? I'm feeling very confident about Black Panther as well. And as for the last slot, it's a toss-up between A Star Is Born and Widows. Personally, I'd rather see Widows get in there because it's not getting as much recognition as A Star Is Born, so it would be nice for Widows to at least get nominated for something. My prediction for the 5 nominees for Best Adapted Screenplay for the 2019 Oscars will be If Beale Street Could Talk, Black Klansman, Can You Ever Forgive Me, Black Panther, and Widows. Right, so let's go on to Best Supporting Actor. And who do we have in contention this year? We've got Adam Driver for Black Klansman, Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me, Steve Carell for Vice, Sam Elliott for Star Is Born, Russell Crowe for Boy Erased, Sam Rockwell for Vice, Michael B. Jordan for Black Panther, Jonathan Pryce for The Wife, Mahershala Ali for Green Book, Timothée Chalamet for Beautiful Boy, Hugh Grant for Paddington 2, oh yes, Topher Grace for Black Klansman, Brian Tyree Henry for If Beale Street Could Talk, and Daniel Kaluuya for Widows. So there are 3 who I'd say are locks for this category. That's Mahershala Ali for Green Book, Timothée Chalamet for Beautiful Boy, and Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me, which leaves 2 slots available, and again, it's kind of an open race, but I would say those 2 slots will most likely be taken up by Sam Elliott for A Star Is Born, and probably Adam Driver for Black Klansman, because like Black Panther, it's regained a lot of momentum over awards season, and it's in a lot of conversation, and Adam Driver was fantastic in that. It could end up being that Daniel Kaluuya or Brian Tyree Henry sneak in there, but we'll wait and see, you can never know. So my top 5 picks for the nominees for Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars 2019 will be Mahershala Ali for Green Book, Timothée Chalamet for Beautiful Boy, Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me, Sam Elliott for A Star Is Born, and Adam Driver for Black Klansman. So let's move on to Best Supporting Actress. Let's see who we've got. We've got Natalie Portman for Vox Lux, Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk, Rachel Weisz for The Favourite, Emma Stone also for The Favourite, Claire Foy for First Man, Elizabeth Debicki for Widows, Amy Adams for Vice, Nicole Kidman for Boy Erased, Margot Robbie for Mary Queen of Scots, Michelle Yeoh for Crazy Rich Asians, Emily Blunt for A Quiet Place, and Sissy Spacek for The Old Man and the Gun. The only lock I would say for this category is Regina King. She is the clear front runner, and I think she's the only person that is 100% going to be in here because, yeah, she's just an absolute certainty. Whereas everyone else it's quite open. Like there's a few that are very, very likely, but I can't say with 100% certainty. So the very, very likely ones, in my opinion, are Claire Foy for First Man and Nicole Kidman for Boy Erased, because I don't think she's going to make it into Best Actress for Destroyer, so the Academy will want to acknowledge her in some capacity, and she's more likely to get acknowledged for Boy Erased than Destroyer. And then it comes down to, I think it's sort of a 3-way race for the last 2 slots, and it's between Amy Adams for Vice, Rachel Weisz for The Favourite, and Emma Stone for The Favourite. But with Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz, because they're in the same film, they could cancel each other out, or they could both make it into the category, but it's also likely that maybe only one of them will get acknowledged, because Amy Adams is a Academy favourite. She's been nominated like 5 times before, and I haven't seen Vice yet, but apparently she's fantastic in it, and she is looking like she will get a nomination from the early buzz. So my predictions for the 5 nominees for Best Supporting Actress for the 2019 Oscars will be Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk, Claire Foy for First Man, Nicole Kidman for Boy Erased, Amy Adams for Vice, and I think Rachel Weisz will get a nomination for The Favourite because Emma Stone recently won for La La Land, and it feels like they might be more democratic about who they select to be the 5th person. Best Director. So who do we have in the Best Director category this year? So we've got Spike Lee for Black Klansman, we've got Damien Chazelle for First Man, Barry Jenkins for If Beale Street Could Talk, Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born, Peter Farrelly for Green Book, Deborah Garrick for Leave No Trace, Marielle Heller for Can You Ever Forgive Me, Ryan Coogler for Black Panther, Alfonso Cuarón for Roma, and Yorgos Lanthimos for The Favourite. Now, the only one that I think is a lock for this category is Alfonso Cuarón for Roma. It's some of the best direction I've ever seen, period. With absolute certainty, he will be in this category for sure. Then there's the 4 other slots, and this is where it gets a bit trickier, I think, because you can make an argument for a lot of people in this category. Bradley Cooper, again, Golden Boy of Hollywood at the moment. Even though I don't think his direction was particularly amazing, A Star Is Born has gotten so much love and hype, and it's very likely if A Star Is Born is nominated for Best Picture, you know, Best Picture and Best Director go hand in hand, and I think Bradley Cooper will get a nomination most likely. And then I think Barry Jenkins will most likely be nominated, and then I think it could be Yorgos Lanthimos for The Favourite. He's a bit of an outside choice, but The Favourite has been so pretty well received. I think the Academy are going to love it. I think it's going to get a lot of nominations anyways. And I think the last spot will go to Spike Lee, because he's made a bit of a comeback. He'll be acknowledged for Black Klansman. I do think Marielle Heller, Damien Chazelle, and Peter Farrelly have an outside chance to get into this category as well. But yeah, my top 5 predictions for the nominees for Best Director of the 2019 Academy Awards will be Alfonso Cuarón for Roma, Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born, Barry Jenkins for If Beale Street Could Talk, Yorgos Lanthimos for The Favourite, and Spike Lee for Black Klansman. Which just leaves us with Best Film. And there are 10 potential slots for this. In the past years, they haven't selected 10 films to be in the Best Picture. I don't know why, but it would be very nice this year if they did use all 10 slots, because there are so many great films that deserve nominations, and it's a very tough selection this year. So let's see what we've got. We've got A Star Is Born, Roma, If Beale Street Could Talk, Widows, First Man, Black Klansman, Beautiful Boy, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favourite, 8th Grade, Green Book, Boy Erased, Vice, Can You Ever Forgive Me, Mary Poppins Returns, Black Panther, Leave No Trace, First Reformed, and A Quiet Place. There are 10 slots, and I think there are 4 blocks. The Favourite, Roma, A Star Is Born, and If Beale Street Could Talk. They should all be definitely looking at a Best Picture nomination. And then there's a couple slots who I think are very, very likely, and that's Black Klansman and Green Book. That takes us up to 6. And then there's 4 slots remaining, and there's a lot of argument and debate as to who should make the cut for this year. But I would say that Vice, First Man, Black Panther, and Can You Ever Forgive Me will take up the remaining 4 slots. Yeah, so my predictions for the Best Picture nominee for the 2019 Academy Award will be The Favourite, A Star Is Born, Roma, If Beale Street Could Talk, Can You Ever Forgive Me, Green Book, Black Klansman, Black Panther, First Man, and Vice. But who knows, there could be an upset, there could be, who knows, Bohemian Rhapsody could make the cut, or I would really love to see Beautiful Boy make the top 10 Best Picture nominees, but a lot of people say it's not even in contention, which is a shame because that was like my favourite film I saw this year, and it's not even in discussion really to be in the Best Picture category. But who knows, I could be pretty accurate. There could be a surprise nomination like Mary Poppins Returns or Hereditary. You never know, like there's always a few surprising ones. Last year we had Get Out and Lady Bird, which were great, nice additions, and sometimes the Oscars do throw a curveball, and of course the makeup of the Academy has changed a lot this year. We've got more diverse range of people, we've got a lot of younger people as well, so there's bound to be a few interesting choices that make it the Best Picture, and some people will probably be scratching their heads at a few of them. So yeah, those are my predictions for the 2019 Academy Awards for those 8 categories. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Do you think there's some nominees I missed out? Be sure to let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. Like I said before, guys, when the Academy announces the full list of nominations on the 22nd of January, I will be doing some prediction videos for all the categories that I just went through, who I think will win, who I think should win, who's missing. I'll give you some analysis on each of the predictions. So if you guys are a fan of Oscar seasons, if you like prediction videos, be sure to click that subscribe button. And if you guys want to be up to date on all my Oscars coverage, you can follow us on Twitter or Instagram. All that information is in that description link below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. For more things related to the Oscars, movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Hearfield, and I'll see you next time.